It started with a single notification. One message, one click, and suddenly, I wasn't Emily Carter anymore. I was a meme. A joke. A face the whole school laughed at. My phone lit up with messages that felt like knives. Lol. Check this out. She actually did that. They said it was funny, but it wasn't. It was my life, torn apart in pixels. Every laugh echoed like thunder inside my head. I remember staring at my reflection, wondering when I stopped being human and became content. What if a single screenshot destroyed your life? Would you forgive the person who posted it? How loud can silence feel when the whole world is laughing at you? That night, I realized something. The internet never forgets, but it never truly knows you either. The next morning felt unreal. My phone buzzed non-stop, each vibration another reminder that I'd become entertainment. People I'd known for years, neighbors, classmates, even teachers, had seen it. The video, my face, my shame. In the mirror, I searched for the girl I used to be. The one who believed the internet was a place to share art, not to be destroyed by it. But she was gone. Replaced by someone hollow, someone afraid to step outside. Every whisper felt like a scream. Every glance burned like fire. And the worst part? I didn't even know who started it. Was it someone I trusted? Someone who smiled at me yesterday? At school, everything changed. Laughter followed me like an echo. Conversations stopped when I entered a room. Desks shifted, eyes rolled, and whispers filled the air like poison. No one asked if I was okay. They just stared, hungry for drama, desperate for the next rumor. I tried to focus, to act normal, but even my name felt heavy now. I caught Zoe's eyes across the hallway. Her smile looked too calm, too familiar. I wanted to ask why, but fear froze me. Maybe I didn't want the answer. Maybe knowing would hurt more than not knowing. By lunch, the whole cafeteria buzzed like a hive of judgment. My tray trembled in my hands as I searched for an empty table, a place to disappear. Then I saw Noah. He didn't laugh, didn't whisper. He just looked at me. Not with pity, but with something gentler, like he knew the storm I was standing in. For a second, I almost felt seen again. But then someone shouted, "Hey, Emily! Nice video!" And the room exploded with laughter. The sound tore through me. My knees went weak, my tray hit the floor, and everyone kept laughing. That night, I didn't sleep. I scrolled through every comment, every repost, every cruel caption. My face, my voice, my tears, repeated, over and over like a nightmare I couldn't wake from. I wanted to defend myself, but what would I say? No one cared about the truth anymore. The internet had already decided who I was. I typed a message to Zoe. Why would you do this to me? But I couldn't press send. Instead, I turned off my phone and whispered to the dark, maybe they'll forget by tomorrow. But deep down, I knew they wouldn't. Silence can be the loudest sound in the world. After the noise faded, after the comments slowed down, I was left alone. Just me and the echoes. My phone stopped buzzing, but the damage stayed. Mom tried to talk to me. I said I was fine. She didn't believe me. I didn't believe me either. I stopped eating, stopped drawing. Even looking in the mirror felt wrong. Sometimes I thought I heard laughter when there was none. Maybe it wasn't out there anymore. Maybe it was in my head. Days blended together. I didn't go to school. My mom said people were moving on, but I couldn't. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that video. I heard the laughter. I deleted my social media. But it didn't help. The comments still lived in my head. I wondered if anyone missed me, or if I'd just become easier to forget. The world moved on, and I was stuck in yesterday. When I finally opened my laptop again, I saw messages. Not from friends, but strangers. Some said, "You deserve it." Others said, "Are you still alive?" I scrolled in silence, feeling every word like a bruise. It's strange how people can break you with a sentence and then move on with their day. I wanted to disappear completely, to fade from every screen, every memory. Mom called the school. They said they'd look into it, but the damage was already viral. How do you delete something from everyone's memory? I overheard her crying on the phone one night. She thought I was asleep. I wanted to tell her I was sorry. Sorry for being a disappointment. Sorry for existing in pixels. But I couldn't find the strength. My voice felt locked somewhere deep inside me. One night, I sat in the dark, staring at my reflection in the black screen. It looked like me, but it wasn't. My eyes were hollow. My smile gone. That's when I realized something terrifying. The internet had moved on, but I hadn't. The real damage wasn't in the posts. It was in me. And for the first time, I whispered something I never thought I'd say. I hate myself. It had been weeks since anyone texted me, until that one message appeared. Noah Patel. Hey. I think I found something. I almost didn't reply. But something about those words, it felt like a hand reaching into the dark. He said he'd been following where the video came from, that it wasn't random. I didn't know if I was ready to hear the truth. But a part of me, the part that still wanted to fight, whispered, maybe it's time. Noah said he'd noticed patterns, reposts that came from the same accounts, the same time. He traced the first upload. I watched as his messages came through, one by one, like pieces of a puzzle clicking into place. When I saw the username that started it all, my stomach dropped. It wasn't a stranger. It was Zoe. I stared at the name until it blurred. Zoe, my best friend since I was 10. The girl who shared secrets, birthdays, and late-night talks about dreams. Why? Was it jealousy? A joke gone wrong? Oh, I wanted to scream, but no sound came out. I felt the betrayal burn hotter than any rumor. The video didn't just break me. It was meant to. Noah called that evening. His voice was calm, careful, like he didn't want to break me more. He said he had screenshots, timestamps, proof that Zoe shared it first. I didn't cry this time. I just sat there listening, letting the truth fill the silence. Something changed inside me. The pain turned into anger. Not the kind that destroys, the kind that fights back. That night, I couldn't sleep. My mind kept replaying memories, every laugh, every picture, every promise Zoe ever made. She had built my world with friendship and destroyed it with a single upload, but this time I wasn't going to disappear. If she wanted me gone, she'd have to face the truth first. For the first time in weeks, I opened my laptop, not to cry, but to fight. Noah showed me how every repost left a trace, like digital footprints. He said, "They thought you wouldn't look." We started late at night, screens glowing in the dark like tiny sparks of rebellion. Each click pulled me closer to the truth. A truth I wasn't afraid to face anymore. Noah showed me fake accounts, pages that shared the video before it went viral. The names were random, but the IP traces weren't. They all led back to the same Wi-Fi network. Our school. Someone inside those walls had started it all, and I knew exactly who it was. It felt like solving a murder. Only the weapon was a phone, and the crime scene was the internet. We followed timestamps, reposts, even deleted backups. Every clue screamed Zoe's name louder. I thought about confronting her, but Noah said, "Not yet. Let the proof speak first." For once, I listened. When the first proof came together, screenshots, IP logs, timestamps, it felt surreal. It wasn't just Zoe anymore. There were others. People who shared, laughed, added captions. They called it just a joke. But to me, it was a scar that wouldn't fade. And now, I finally had their names. Noah asked, "What will you do now?" I looked at the screen, at the faces behind my pain. "I'm going to make them see," I said. "Not through hate. Not through revenge. Through truth. If they wanted a show, I'd give them one. But this time, I'd write the script." The truth spread faster than I expected. One upload, one post. And the silence shattered. I didn't use filters or music. I just looked into the camera and told the world what I'd done to me. Every lie, every repost, every cruel word. No screaming, no blame, just truth. And the truth hurt louder than any rumor ever could. By morning, my video had gone viral. But this time, for a reason that mattered. People messaged apologies. Some deleted their posts. Others tried to defend themselves. Even the school called me in. Mr. Reynolds looked at me like he was seeing me for the first time. He said, "Emily, you're brave." But I didn't feel brave. I just felt tired. Tired of being their lesson. Zoe finally messaged me. "I'm sorry," she wrote. 2 words, too late. I stared at the screen, wondering how forgiveness works in a world that never forgets. Does saying sorry erase the thousands who laughed? Does it fix the silence that nearly drowned me? I didn't reply. Some things don't need answers. At school, people looked at me differently now. Not like a joke, but like a ghost. A reminder of what I'd done. Some said hi. Some avoided me completely. But Zoe, she couldn't even meet my eyes. For the first time, I didn't need to, because I saw it. The guilt, the fear, the cracks in her perfect smile. And I realized something. Monsters don't always hide in shadows. Sometimes, they sit beside you in class. That night, I went back to the rooftop. The same place I once thought of ending everything. The city lights looked different now. They weren't mocking me anymore. They were waiting. I realized the real monsters were never just online. They were inside people. Hiding behind screens, behind laughter, behind fear. But monsters lose their power when you speak their names. And I wasn't afraid to speak anymore. News spread across town, across timelines, across whispers. Everyone wanted to talk about what happened. Reporters called me brave. Strangers said I inspired them. But bravery doesn't erase pain. Every headline still had my name, my face, my story, like a trophy of suffering. Justice online isn't justice. It's a moment. And moments disappear fast. The school held an assembly about digital empathy. Zoe stood on stage, reading an apology someone else had written for her. Everyone clapped. I watched from the back, wondering if they understood. Forgiveness isn't a speech, it's a choice. And sometimes, the kindest thing you can do is not to offer it. Days later, Zoe stopped coming to school. Rumors said her parents moved her away. Others said she deleted all her accounts. I didn't celebrate, because pain doesn't balance pain. I didn't want revenge. I wanted peace, and peace doesn't come from someone else's punishment. It comes when you stop needing it. Mr. Reynolds told me something that stayed with me. You can't control how people see you, Emily. You can only control what you do next. So I kept drawing. I kept writing. I kept breathing. For the first time in months, I wasn't afraid of opening my laptop. It wasn't a weapon anymore. It was mine again. I don't think the internet will ever change completely, but maybe people can. Every message, every share, every laugh, it matters. Because somewhere, behind every screen is someone just like me. And if my story makes even one person stop before they hit post, then maybe that's what justice really looks like. Healing isn't loud. It doesn't come with applause or posts or likes. It happens in the quiet, in every breath that doesn't hurt anymore. Months passed. I started sharing again. My art, my thoughts, my truth. But this time, not for validation, for connection. Because sometimes, what saves you isn't the world seeing you, it's you choosing to see yourself again. Noah and I launched a small website, a space where people could share their stories of being bullied online. We called it The Real You. Within days, hundreds of messages poured in. Different voices, different faces, all carrying the same pain I once thought was mine alone. For the first time, I realized I wasn't alone. And I never had been. Schools started reaching out. Reporters wanted interviews. But I didn't want fame. I wanted change. I spoke to students, parents, teachers, anyone who would listen. I told them what it felt like to be laughed at by the whole world, and what it felt like to survive it. Sometimes I still get messages from people who saw that old video. They say, "You're that girl, right?" And I smile. Because yes, I am that girl, the one who was mocked, broken, and humiliated. But I'm also the girl who survived, who rebuilt, and who decided to stay. That's the version I choose to live as now. People ask me if I'd erase what happened. If I could, I wouldn't, because it taught me that cruelty isn't power. Empathy is. That silence kills, but words can heal. And that sometimes the best revenge isn't exposing the monsters, it's showing them you lived through it, and you're still shining.